We are
live.
What's up?
Hopefully. Oh, okay.
Aety time. Aety time. Aety on.
It's
Excellent.
It's been quite a while.
Yeah, it's been, I think, almost, maybe even more than 2 weeks. I think it might have been our longest hiatus ever.
Really?
I think so.
It's not that we didn't want to do it. There was that time where you didn't charge the phone.
Yeah, that was my bad.
He has this new phone that he keeps on top of the microwave, and that's where it lives.
Yeah.
But, sole purpose is to go live on our time.
Pretty much.
High def.
Yeah. There we go. So, yeah, so now we are live in high def, and I'm looking forward to talking about what's been going on over the last little while. What is that?
Those noises?
Yeah.
Well, it's your phone that lives on top of the microwave. So.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't use the phone. It just lives on top of the microwave. I don't know what those noises mean.
So I've
Is it gonna start vibrating and fall down and like?
Did you bring props?
Party time anymore?
Did you bring props? Is this what it's about, or just?
Well, yeah, I was excited that that this is happening.
Oh, this is the Chris Dyer toy that I got for him.
Yeah, that's thank you, by the way. That's super dope of you to think of that. So yeah, I painted one of these a little while ago, and I had a ton of fun painting it. And I went to Chris's house, I don't know, not long ago. He had a little party, and I asked him if he had any blank ones around, and he didn't. Or he looked in his closet, and he didn't think he did. But he moved just a couple of weeks ago, and Germ helped him move. And lo and behold, when he moved and cleaned out his other closet or something, one of these blank guys appeared.
A couple of them.
A couple of them. All right, well, I'm more concerned about this one, the other ones.
And it's funny that you liked painting this. What did you like about it?
Well, a few things. First of all, I thought it was really dope that Chris invited me to be part of the group show that he had going on in Colorado with him, with a whole bunch of other artists he invited to paint these. I felt honored to be asked to be part of that, and I really gave it my all. I spent like almost 40 hours plus painting this little thing.
But he put a glow-in-the-dark layer on it.
Yeah, no, he's been featured on here before. Galactic Dude. Yeah, we've shown him in like 2 or 3 episodes, maybe even more. So, and it sold. It sold to one of my art collectors for a decent sum, $710 US. So I'm pretty happy about that, and it gave me the idea to paint another one, but this one I want to paint a little more like feminine-y colors. Like the other one was like a little more masculine, and I decided to paint him a girlfriend. So I'm looking forward to doing that project. Who knows when, but it'll happen, and I'm excited to get back into it, because painting on a sculpture like that is very different than painting on something flat. You gotta pay attention to what parts of it are wet and what parts aren't, and it's a different process. You got to be careful, because otherwise you can end up making your life a lot more difficult if you're not careful, and you end up putting your thumb in wet paint, which happened to me a couple of times. I learned the hard way. Patience is the virtue when you're doing something 3D like that, covering it in paint. Yeah,
painting and patience have similar letters.
I suppose they do have some similar letters. That's quite an observation, Germ.
You gotta be patient to paint.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I do not enjoy painting these things.
Are German minimalists patient when they paint?
Before they hit that one stroke, yeah.
I guess so. Yeah.
And it ends there.
Yeah.
But I didn't like painting toys so much.
I don't know. I think for me it was... There's a little more to it than that it's a toy. It's that it's a toy made by Chris, who's like one of the big inspirations in my life as an artist. And I own 9 of his paintings. Not bragging or anything. Yes, bragging. So, like, I don't know. For me, there's that connection with Chris and the toy, and how cool that is. That, I went from being a manager at a shady call center, buying Chris's art with some of the money I made, and like not making my own art at all, really. I was doodling on Post-it notes, but at that time I did not consider what I was doing art in any way, shape, or form. And now I am an artist, and Chris felt that I was at a level enough where he was comfortable that inviting me into the show, I wasn't going to be out of place. And with some of the other names that I was next to in that show, like Germ D, and
I was gonna rip the head off.
Yeah, yours was pretty funny, but
I'm glad that's the word that you give to it.
Yeah, no, I thought yours was awesome because it was your head. But like some of the other, like everyone's piece was impressive. You know, there was a lot of really, really talented artists that really gave a lot of attention to their projects. So it was awesome to see all of them displayed, and it was awesome to just be part of that vibe. And so
we're still trying to investigate what that noise is
and why we got cut off. But anyway, we're back.
We are back. So what is new in your life, bro?
Well, other than this new blank toy that you got me to paint, what else is new in my... So what else is new? I guess this phone is new. And yeah. So what else is new? Like the biggest new thing that I'm working on is a little secret that I don't want to talk a lot about in this episode yet.
I thought we were talking about it.
No, I don't want to talk about it yet. It's not like for public's consumption yet. It's still in the
we're working on things.
R&D department.
Okay, well, I got a book on the way.
That's awesome.
Self-publishing a book.
That's amazing.
You know, there's websites online where you can get the sample of your book for cheap. Back in the day, and it was very hard to get one book.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
wanted one book out of like 50 or something. You had to make it worth the glance. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And now online, they'll sell you one book.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get that as a sampler and then do things with that. So I'm hoping to, once I have the sampler, go and sell ads.
You know what? That's something we never talked about on this episode about like selling merch. And like having one sample so you don't invest a whole ton of money on product that might not move. If you just buy one sample, you can take a picture of the sample, throw that up, and then kind of take pre-sales. The trick with doing that is making sure that your manufacturer, whoever is making the product that you're trying to sell, has a quick turnaround, so that you're not making your clients wait for, you know,
I usually
months
get
after.
three. I usually get three because you always want to have like one, and then if it moves, yours doesn't disappear, and then you can do that twice. And then you better reorder after that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good gauge of...
it also depends what, too. Like,
it's a good gauge of how it's selling, too. Don't over-invest, because then you're going to end up with, like, a lot of one thing and discouraged to do the next. And that's not any way to run a business.
Yeah, but also getting discouraged because you made one mistake is not a way to run a business either. You know, I think a lot of...
But it avoids that.
It can avoid that. Personally, I think there's probably no avoiding that. Like, at some point... somebody's gonna order too much of one product and be stuck with a bunch of merch, and I'm gonna order too much of a product again and be stuck with leftovers that I thought would sell and don't, or you know, that's out of that color's out of fashion in this whatever season or something like that. Things like that are gonna happen to me again, I'm sure of it, and you know, well, that's why you can liquidate stuff at low prices or make package deals around the holidays where you're like, oh, here, throw all these things that's maybe overstocked together and you know, get it out there for a deal for people. You know, there's ways that you can mitigate those kind of mistakes if you make mistakes investing in too much merch. Me, I made a huge mistake investing in too much merch at one point. I bought like 3,000 magnets. And I went to the post office to weigh them to find out how much, you know, did I need to buy the lowest amount stamps or the middle amount stamps. I wanted to buy a bunch to have them on hand when people ordered.
But you had already...
I'd already got the magnets, yes.
Yeah,
so I had the magnets to weigh them on the post office scale so they could tell me exactly how much, and they looked at me and they're like, you can't ship magnets internationally, you can only ship them within Canada. And like at that time, it was back when Facebook was bumping and I was selling hundreds of sets of stickers. But, you know, almost none of them to Canada. I was selling them all over the world, Bahamas and Israel and Australia and, you know, everywhere. And so now I had these 3,000 magnets that, like, I couldn't really ship through the mail. And I was stuck holding them. And I still have, I don't know, 2,000 of them. So that was kind of a mistake that I didn't check on the postal thing. You know, I figured they fit in an envelope, why not? But apparently they cause problems with... you know, the electronic scanners that sort mail. So I've heard of people that have shipped magnets through the mail and not had problems, but I've also read quite a few stories from Etsy sellers who were selling magnets and, you know, they ended up getting banned from shipping through the mail because, you know, they had a big Etsy shop and they sent out 500 orders of these magnets at once and they all came back and they're like, you're banned, you're not allowed shipping. through the mail with Canada Post anymore.
Wrecked.
So they were wrecked. Yeah, they weren't allowed shipping to the States through Canada Post anymore, and that pretty much closed their business down. So, I'm glad.
Magnets, y'all. Beware.
Yeah, beware.
Same thing with pins.
They're a great product because when I sell them in person, people love them. They buy them. They're nice. They can stick on a fridge. People can look at them. They're like, for people that don't want to have a big thing on the wall or can't afford a big thing on the wall, but they can afford a little thing on the fridge. And it reminds them subtly of your presence every time they open the fridge for a snack or for a drink or for whatever, People open the fridge a lot. So it's a good place to have your art and stay in people's minds. Of course, then you have the odd person who's going to be like, oh, my fridge is stainless steel. You can't sell me magnets. No, they don't stick to stainless steel fridges. But a lot of those stainless steel fridges still have the sides that are magnetic, so it depends if they have it in the recess or if it's like one of those deals where one side of the fridge is exposed to the counter. Or
why would you want a fridge that can't take a magnet?
Because stainless steel is in fashion, bro.
Oh. I want a stainless steel fake faux marble backsplash. Preferably from Canadian Tire on sale, please. Get to it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And I'd like to go back to my book before you cut me off with this long rant about merchandise and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay.
So make a book here.
So yeah, your book. You were talking about the fact that you're getting one sample, and that's what I brought in the merch.
Yes, but that's not it.
That's a good idea. So go back to your book.
I was actually trying to do one which was about ink on paper, which is one of the things that I do comics. And while I was doing it, I realized, I also have the street art and the pictures on the street art, and that was a book that not many artists can produce. And I think that most of us have that in us. We have a facet that's pretty unique, and that could be made into a small, brochure.
I think
flyer,
zine,
having book, hardcover, tome, whatever you got in material. It could start small. It could be a zine, but something unique that you do is like the glow in the black light and the double effects of paintings. If you did a brochure, I don't know how many of these you have, but the painting and then the next page it's the painting in the black light, and it's just a book of that. That'd be dope, and it would give the illusion too that you crush. And I could see this painting, and it for sure has it. That one, it for sure has it. You start to give an illusion that they all have it, but I don't have the black light to check.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I kind of started staying away from blacklight paint early on in my career just because of the fact that I was finding that nobody had a blacklight at home, and the people that wanted my art weren't the kind of people that were going to go buy a blacklight for the most part. The people that were, whoa, the blacklight stuff's so cool, like, I got $5. And it's like, okay, well, sorry, the stickers don't glow in the dark, unfortunately. Maybe I'll have some that do one day, but
glow in the dark works.
Yeah, glow in the dark works. So for my target market,
glow in the dark.
And my target market, I didn't know my target market when I started making art. So I used that term like I had this big plan for who was going to buy my art, and that's not the way it was. My target market, I learned who they were over the years of sharing my art and finding out who resonates with it and what type of person generally, generalizations, what type of person buys my art. And now I have a relatively good idea of what type of person is going to be interested in buying my art.
I describe them.
How do I describe them? Awesome. Of course, awesome people buy my art. Like, that's all you need to know. I'm looking for freaking awesome people. So, yeah. So if you're watching this and you haven't bought my art yet, I don't know, what does that say? It says you need to buy my art to be awesome. Or his art to be awesome. Or someone else's art to be awesome. But you should have some real original art by another artist besides yourself on your wall that you can brag about.
You said something pretty profound on the card before, which was, artists drive eyeballs and drive attention, and they don't always sell.
That's true. That's very true. I know lots of artists that make amazing art, and they don't even want to sell their art. Like they would be offended if you offered them money for it, and they'd also be offended if you asked them to take it home for free.
Just think of this man right here. This man is a successful artist because he moves plastic acrylics on cotton canvas stretched on wood, and he won't sell it to you. Famous. He won't sell it to you.
Won't sell what?
His fucking paintings.
Well,
he wants to keep them.
It depends how much money you offer him.
I know, but that just goes to show that you don't even have to sell the paintings because proof of concept.
But
Chris has done it.
Chris has done it in such a way that he's built up his reputation and his brand around his merchandise as well as his art.
Of course, you can have shower curtains, sheets, pillows.
Has that. Yeah, so Chris has that.
Whole house.
That line of things that support his art career without necessarily needing to sell all his paintings anymore.
It's beautiful though. That's what I was trying to illustrate.
His career didn't start off like that. I wouldn't have 9 of his paintings in the next room if Chris didn't sell his art.
Yeah, but he doesn't have that many paintings.
Yeah, but look, I mean, let's face it, Chris has sold enough paintings over the years, and like that's what funded him getting going. That's what funded him making shirts out of hemp that he was paying like a ridiculous amount per shirt. And he thought he would be Mr. Eco Warrior, and people would line up to buy these shirts because they're eco warriors too, and they want to support the earth and da. But those people don't want to spend $60 on a shirt, so he made that mistake. And like and then he grew and did this and that, and now Chris has learned for him what seems to work best, and I've seen it myself by working a little bit as his assistant for a little while. That what works for Chris is licensing his designs to companies that are big in the festival scene and other things too. He'll license art to other people. It's not like Chris has a questionnaire like, "Are you big in the festival scene?" No, no deal. But like he licenses his art to companies that make products and put his art on them, and they sell the products, and then he gets a cut off it.
He also has his own brand too, though.
He does. But even some of those things that have his name and his brand on them, he's not the one producing them. Some of those things. Some of them he is. Like this. He did this. He didn't have, China Toy Company call Chris and say, "Hey, we want to make one of your toys." Chris called China Company and said, "Hey, can you make a toy?"
No, I called China Company.
Yeah. Alright, that's true. I forgot about your little hand in that.
Whenever someone needs to call China, they call me first. And then I don't haggle.
And I'm sure everyone that hires you to do that is like, she.
No, it's good. I mean, they were a good company. They made the South Park toys. So.
Nice.
I figured they'd be good with the vinyl. But my point was that artists all the time can generate eyeballs. People want to see the new thing. They come check it out. And yeah, I don't have $1,000 to buy this canvas, so I'm going to mosey on to this next post or something like that, But the fact that there's eyeballs leads me to believe that there's another way to make money in this business.
As an artist. Okay, now I know what you're talking about. Alright. Yeah, definitely. 100%.
I think there's another way to make money in this business, and that's hitting up people who don't necessarily get eyeballs and don't think about paying Instagram and all that stupid shit for those shitty ads. So if I make a book and I go around to these people with the book and I'm like, "Yo, you want to be in this book? $250 a page, $500 per spread." They might give me the money. And then I just have to put them in this book. And it has to be curated so it's not lame as fuck there. But if it's cool people in the book, if you're in the book, if other people are in the book, then that's another way to drive revenue. It's a win-win for both people if it is a good ad. And it's a good product. So
now let's face it, like if you're an artist, there's a lot of different ways you can perhaps incorporate selling ads into your business. Like say for example, you're doing an event and the table costs $75 for the weekend. You can maybe hit up a business in your area and say, "Hey, would you like to sponsor my table for the weekend? It'll cost you $75, and on the front of my table there's going to be a banner that says sponsored by or whatever." Okay, yeah, it could be more, but
yes,
I'm saying like,
please. This is a bit...
I'm saying
when I did the Rialto, we sold banner space in the back for $2 Gs.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a 1-night, 3-hour event. 2G.
And who was throwing this event?
Me.
Awesome.
But the Rib Fest or something like that has way more people.
You're right.
So it's like, it is kind of 2G,
right,
buddy.
But you're right. But the St. Mary's Church Basement Arts and Craft Sale doesn't.
Okay, yeah, that's about hundo.
That's
Hundo, and you're pushing it.
Exactly. Okay, so you know whatever it is, like that's what.
But the Rib Fest.
That's what I'm talking about.
But this is the interesting.
They don't know what Rib Fest is. Rib Fest is a huge thing that I sell art at.
The point is, there's some places that they let artists in because they're artists in your hometown. And it's huge. But they're not going to let a rando buddy over here who has a business in because he has no business there. You know, he'd just be selling ads. Or he'd be like, let's say a mechanic. He has nothing to do there.
Yeah,
He would give you money to have his thing there.
Yeah.
Because all the town is going there and he'd be there without being there.
Yeah, exactly. You're exactly right.
And body shops might have money.
It's like say John the plumber down the street. Okay, John the plumber's not gonna rent a booth at these outdoor events and put a model of a toilet up and make examples of how toilets flush and show people. That's not what John the plumber does. John charges $200 an hour when you're fucked because your toilet's overflowing. That's what John the plumber does. So John the plumber might pay you whatever event, something equivalent to the exposure he's gonna get. If it's St. Mary's Church Basement, maybe he'll pay you $100. If it's Rib Fest, maybe he'll pay you $2,000. But it has your banner in front with, you know, your Me Art Inc. And then on each side, it's gonna be like sponsored by John the plumber, and have his little business link and his little business logo. Yeah, link like you got.
Which I actually think would be good.
People on acid poking your banner there trying to get to his website.
It'd be good even for people to break the ice with because they're going to see the banner, they're going to see sponsored, and they're like, you know John? Oh, it's sponsored by John the plumber? What's that about? It opens the gate to talk about something.
Mm-hmm.
There's also the art too, but people might not be versed in that.
Yeah, I mean,
they're versed in other people and their names.
To be totally honest, I haven't done this myself yet.
I think
we kind of just had this light go off on our heads like a week ago, and we've been talking a lot about how to incorporate advertising into our businesses since then. One of the ways I'd like to that I haven't fully developed yet is I want to sell ad space on my website. I sold ads online for many, many years, and I think I can come up with something that's sustainable for my business to make a steady stream of income coming in. It's going to take a little while of figuring it out exactly how. But when I worked at other call centers, that's exactly what I had to do. I had to try a script and then modify it, and then learn to roll with the punches and how to talk to different people in different areas in a different way because they respond to different attitudes in different areas.
So you're calling people.
Yeah, so I'm basically going to be calling people and trying to sell them ad space on my website, and maybe, if they say they're not interested in the ad space, I can maybe be like, okay, well, would you like to become one of my patrons for an opportunity to win a painting every month? And if they say no to that, I can be like, okay, well, are you a retail spot? Would you like to see my wholesale price list for all my merch? Maybe you could make some money off of my stuff. There's other ways, and at the end of the day, I'm going to be introducing myself, my business, and my art to new people who don't know who I am right now. If I call 50 people tomorrow on the phone,
50 new people know about
50 new people know about me, and maybe 5 of them will get an email. They'll say, oh, send me some information, whatever the case may be. And I send them an email, and maybe they're visiting my website and bookmarking it for future reference. Like, oh man, we don't want to add on your thing, but the holidays are coming in a few months, and you have some really nice stuff. Maybe we'll hit you up, buy some Christmas presents from you for our family. You have really nice tablecloths. Cool, that's fine. That's awesome. That's the same as social media.
It is.
Except it's cheaper because you can get a phone online for $50 a month and make unlimited calls.
Is it $50 a month?
Something like that. I think I'm paying way less than that. But I'm also, here's a little trick from my telemarketing days. If you want to do this and you want to call different areas, you can find online, they're called a soft phone, which is a software phone. It's installed on your desktop or on your phone. And basically you can choose what number it'll be that you're calling from, and you can buy numerous phone numbers that have different area codes and then set which one you want to appear on people's caller IDs. So say for example you're in New York and you want to call California because it's late at night and all the businesses in New York are closed, and you're like, oh man, I'm really in the mood to reach out to people right now. So, okay, I call West Coast, and then put your LA area code up on the screen so that people will answer the phone and be much more receptive to you. I mean, I don't know how many people watching this have ever worked in a call center or are ever going to be willing to pick up the phone and talk about their business that way.
But this is just ideas.
But it's an idea, yeah.
We're acting upon the inspiration of this possible. This is a palpable mind. Let's mine. See what we can find. And you're doing it in your way, which is you're gonna pick up the phone and call people. I'm gonna go and visit people with a book and be like, check out this book. And then hopefully drive the price down of production of a book. And then hopefully get people to send me footage, and then we can have more of a steady book. And then that's pretty much a goddamn magazine.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be cool to have it more chronicle the Montreal art scene. Because if you have everyone chipping in, it'd be easier. It'll lessen the burden. If everyone wants it, because everyone wants it, you know? Mm-hmm. Everyone wants to chronicle what's happening. So if everyone puts in like that, then I think it's possible.
Oh, for sure. Anything's possible, you know? Like, the biggest projects and the most amazing things happen with a lot of people working together. Nobody ever does it alone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, it's extreme, you know. Everyone gets help at some point from, you know, a gallery that's well known or a patron that, like, you know, says, hey.
That's so
you know,
true.
like,
I gotta go get up a
kind of
gallery.
things.
I gotta get, like, some money from a gallery.
Mm-hmm. So
there's only gonna be one, and
you know, so this is something that you can think about, like, and you know, if you're entrepreneurial minded, for me personally, like, some people might be watching this and going, well, I'm an artist, not an ad sales guy, and it's like, okay, but what are you doing full time right now? You're an artist, you're not that either.
Wear your friend's shirts then, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Check it out, man. The whole fucking weekend, I've been wearing other people's shirts. I make my own shirts, but
that's awesome.
Yeah, you gotta shout out everyone. And
speaking of shout outs,
we
got.
If you're wearing Nike or some shit, burn it, please. Get some Coke Air, and help your friends out. That's an ad space right there on your chest, and it shouldn't go to fake shit, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, the less chest space that goes to Nike and whoever else, and goes to your friends and your favorite artists who have that. Not every artist has the T-shirts and the clothing line that you can represent them when you're walking around with. But if one of your favorite artists does, like, please do that. Throw on some of their gear and tell other people about it if they ask you, like, oh, this is my homeboy, this artist, whatever, you know, like, this is, you know, show them, introduce them. Word of mouth is the best thing that helps us. Yeah. Like, when you tell other people about us, especially in person, there's nothing better than that. Did we talk about that good shout out that we got? That's what I just wanted to bring up. That awesome shout out. Yeah, go for it. Well, I've been following a blog called The Working Artist for years. Her name is Krista Cloutier, and she puts out really inspiring content. She does, like, an online course where you can learn the business side of art, and I really would love to take it. I haven't taken it yet. But, you know, I've been following her a long time, and I probably will at some point because I think it would be a good investment. She comes at the art business from a different way than... Hold on, is this an ad? Is this an ad? I don't know. Well, her shout-out was an ad, so I think tit for tat at that point. I don't mind shouting her back out. She sent a shout-out. Well, she has an email list, and she sent, over the last few weeks, what she's been doing is checking out different podcasts, and, you know, every week or two she'll send out a list of what she's been checking out. And she checked out Arty Time, and she wrote us an awesome review, and she sent it to everybody who signs up to her email list. I'm literally signed up to her email list twice with 2 of my different emails because sometimes it was going to my junk, and I'm like, I don't want to miss anything she sends out, so I signed up for my other email list too. Like, her information's valuable. Check her out. The Working Artist is the name of her blog and website and whatnot. So find her online, find her on Insta, find her on Facebook, and give her a follow. And check it out. You know, any friend, like. It was really nice what she wrote. Yeah, it was super flattering. I think she has a crush on Adam. I don't think so. But I was honestly super surprised. I opened her email, and she didn't tell me, she didn't send me a message before saying, hey, we shouted you, or I'm going to shout you out or nothing. You know, I opened the email, and I was like, oh, what? Wow, that's awesome. Yeah. And so who else shouted us out we don't know? Because if you didn't sign up, you would have never known.
Yeah, that's true. If I wasn't on her email list, I might not have known.
Are we famous?
So get on her email list. You never know what you can learn from her.
But yeah, it was really nice what she wrote. Like, she recommended that you watch it from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
Not to the end. I don't think she said that. She was like,
she said, yeah,
she didn't take it. Yeah,
she didn't mention stopping. So like, you don't stop watching.
Because if you've watched more than one, you know that it's almost like a chronicle of our lives too. Yeah. Now we're on the I have a book. I'm selling ads.
Yeah, it started off as quit your job, don't work, and now I have a job and I'm working. But you know, like
we're being crushed by the ads
through that whole thing. And you know, let's talk about that. You know,
well, this is what it's all about.
Social media is taken over by ads. Like the reason that we can't reach our followers anymore is because Facebook is putting ads.
And they're selling the eyeballs that not just us, but all of us collectively
are bringing to Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook doesn't create any content. We create Facebook's content. So those eyeballs that are watching my stuff that they're putting ads in between, like, why do they get to make money off of that? And
it's one of two things: get it out of here or give me the cash.
Yeah,
it's one of two things.
So part of what we discussed is like, yo, these mega corporations, that's their business model, and they're winning. So I want to try and, you know, take a little bit of that tactic and apply it to my own business where I can stay focused on getting my brand and my name and my art seen and known about by more people, and keep my business going, where I won't have to keep this job that I'm at right now. You know, I'd rather be working full-time on my own thing, even if part of that means that I have to work on networking and selling ads instead of just painting. But, you know, like, and it's the same thing, whether you're selling ads or whether you're approaching galleries and wanting them to do the selling for you, you're still selling.
Yeah.
You're still selling yourself, and you're still selling reasons why you're worth looking at.
If I go to the gallery with some canvases, and I'm like, can you help me sell this? I'll be like, alright, might take a little bit of time, but we'll get this done. I show up and I'm like, hey, I have this book, you want an ad in it? They say yes, they're cutting a check live. They're not waiting for someone else to buy it.
Jeremy, can you please tell me where this gallery where you just waltz in with canvases and say, hi, please sell these for me? And they're like, okay, it'll take a bit of time. Show me that gallery, because I want to bring
I was saying that was the best case scenario ever.
Yeah, that scenario does not happen.
You're not getting the money up front. That's what I'm saying is
okay,
you weren't getting the money up front.
Yeah, okay,
in the ad scenario, would you like a fucking page in this book? As long as the book isn't shit.
Mm-hmm.
If it's really cool, they're going to be like, God damn, it's if it's in their genre and it's cool, they literally have to.
Mm-hmm.
They're almost obliged to, because they're a gallery. They have to be in the scene. And it's not that much. You know, don't fucking shoot yourself in the foot. Get the money and run.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be a good way to open yourself up to the gallery.
It could. I mean,
you know, if the gallery's sponsoring a book, eventually, suffice to say that there might be a show.
Now, like here, we've talked about advertising on websites and in books and on banners.
The banner was a good idea.
Yeah, there's other ways that could be done too. Like
talk about shirts, but you know, the point is not to really use your personal space as the ads. That's a bit selling out, you know.
This space available.
You know, you wear a hat from your boy and stuff like that.
I'll tattoo your ad on my forehead. No, I won't actually do that. Never in a million years. Not even for $1 million.
I know, it's like, it's this nuance where, like, I wouldn't take a price for me to wear the same hat all the time. Someone's hat all the time, like, dude, crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
but I would pay to wear someone else's hat to support them. I think that's the nuance when it comes into the personal realm, the personal sphere. But you do a podcast. Maybe next time you tune into that podcast, there's a banner behind us.
Mm-hmm.
You never know.
Or whatever else you do. Maybe you do roofing, and like you want to support us, and like you want us to put a banner in the back that says, you know, ABC Roofing.
No, I have an idea of who it's gonna be.
Awesome. Well, you sell our banners because you weren't interested in Arty Time merch. I was all like, let's get some Arty Time merch. You didn't even get Arty Time business cards made. I got Arty Time business cards
You're gonna fucking die. That was like episode something.
Yeah, okay, but that's not Arty Time merch. I want Arty Time branded merch. This is Arty Time.
I like you're gonna fucking die. So
yeah, that's awesome. But Arty Time, you're gonna die doesn't tell anyone. Go type in Arty Time on Google and see what's up.
Yes, it does.
If you wear a t-shirt...
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Because someone says, what's that shirt about? And then they go, oh, it's Arty Time Podcast. But if you just wear a shirt that says Arty Time Podcast, no one asks.
How many people asked you about my shirt today?
A couple people said it's fucking dope.
Did anyone really, or are you just...
Yes, I'm not even joking.
I'm joking. Well, that's because my art's doper than Are You Gonna Fucking Die.
It's just sick, bro. This shit's sick.
My point is, I wanted to have the Arty Time name on things.
And when they say something about that, go, this is a painting.
I swear, I'm just going to start painting these black. These are going to be painted black.
You know, you realize that? I've been trying to show Pacific Northwest for the longest time, and I finally succeeded. Feast your eyes on low quality image of Pacific Northwest.
It's all good, whatever. For the 8 people that watch, you got a preview.
We're more famous than that, bro.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, you know what? Now that she shouted us out, we very well could be. Like, I don't know how many people are on her mailing list, but I'm pretty sure it's more than are on mine because she's been at it a lot longer than I was, and she did a big Kickstarter. I think she did a big Kickstarter at one point and raised like a lot of money to put together her thing, like to sit and hire like proper lighting and cameras to do her
shtick.
Her shtick, yeah, and it's done well, and yeah, so.
Oh, is it Kickstarter for the online class of how you learn to sell ads behind your podcast thing?
That could be our class. Yeah, definitely.
You're in it right now.
You're in phase 1. Phase 1.
Phase 2, banners behind us, and we talk about how you can get a banner 2 in your house. All you need to do is live stream on Twitch.
Phase 3, and
you probably could. That's the worst part. You could probably live stream it on Twitch and get someone to give you fucking, pay my phone bill or internet bill. Put your banner back.
Totally off the point. Well, not totally off the point because it was a creative idea. One of the most brilliant advertising sales shticks I ever heard was back in the day. I don't know, around 2003 or 4, somewhere around there. Some guy made the $1 million website, and his website was 1,000,000 pixels, and each pixel, you hovered over it and it had a link, and he sold the links to each pixel for $1. And you could buy batches of 100 pixels for $100, or 1 pixel for $1, and his website sold out like overnight. His pixels were all gone, because it was all over the news, the $1 million website, how this guy made $1 million overnight. And it happened. And then there was like, all of a sudden there was all these copycat websites, and there was guys trying to make the $1 million website, and even them, they would make like, $60,000 in a week. Like, I knew a guy that did it. And like...
How are they getting the sales to come in?
Well, he was they were email blasting people. And this was back before algorithms would keep your emails from inboxes. So, nowadays all it takes is like one guy to hit spam by accident, and for the next fucking 10 years your emails go to people's spam folders.
Yeah, because I think that one works on the principle of like $1 for 1 pixel is so cheap that you want to do it, and then you kind of want to be like, it's $10.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's still nothing.
It's still nothing, but you know that like not doing it is riskier than doing it.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to lose, $10, or lose out on the chance to be on this brand new, amazing form of advertising? So, I think at that point it was like a fad. I mean, it went away. The website, I think, still exists. I think if you look up 1,000,000 pixel ad site or something, the website's still there. I don't know if he's renewing the ads on it every year and making $1 million a year on it. If he's not, he should be. But if he's not, he can hire me to do it.
But this is about building relationships with like-minded people in your community. Is really what it's about.
Yeah, it's also about, for me, because the people who are going to want to advertise are going to be businesses, obviously. It's not like your sister or your grandma is going to want to advertise like, "Hi, I'm Sarah." Like, no, like, they got to have something they're pushing or want to show off. Like, it's, average Joe Blow isn't going to advertise. You're talking to business owners. So it also puts you in contact with people that think in a business-minded way. And it can, expand your circle from people who are just like interested in following art to, people who are running a business and know a little bit more about it maybe than you do, or even, definitely there's people out there that know a lot more than running a business than I do or Germ does, and we can learn from them. And by communicating with business owners on a regular basis, trying to get your brand and sell ads to them, you're going to learn some things. Just over the course of talking to people, somebody might say like, "Hey, do this," and you'll be like, "Oh, why didn't I think of that?" Like the whole idea of selling ads for us is like, why didn't we think of that a long time ago?
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's not like we've made a ton of money selling ads yet, but like, we're.
But I've been doing this art,
towards it,
selling the art, and it was working towards something because they're all kind of related. And then it's just like, well, what am I really gonna do? And then it dawned on me. Well, put them together in a book, and that's not it. That's not how it ends.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just that. Then I'm going to go get some ads.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's going to make it so that I have the money to print a lot of books.
A next book, or a next edition of the book, or whatever, yeah. And like, that's a viable business option,
Oh, I've seen Just Suppose magazine. I'll speak openly for myself. Trash. Garbage. Too many ads. I don't know what the fuck's an ad, what's not an ad. And they sell the ad for 2 G's. How do I know? My boy told me because he paid once. 2 G's! 2 G's to be in a sloppy mess that nobody knows what the fuck's going on.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, I don't want to...
So I feel confident. They're selling things for 2 G's and everyone loves it. Oh, it's a magazine about art. They want to suck its dick. They're really down on all fours for it. If that book gets that kind of praise, let's make a real one.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like, our last episode was about documenting, and there's really no better way to document your career than making a little magazine about it, or a little booklet or book about it. Like he was saying, there's companies where you can go online and literally make a hardcover book and order, very limited copies of it, and not pay a ridiculous amount of money. Yeah, they're not $4 either. You got to invest.
I paid $40.
And if you go back to our earlier episodes, there's one called "Don't Be Cheap."
No, look good. Get the hardcover. That Just Suppose is a magazine. I'm not gonna keep blasting them. They're doing good for the community, but I think that there's improvements to be made.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't necessarily go outside of Montreal too much. I would like to document the Montreal people because that's really homey about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe the person who comes in and visits, and maybe there's a person abroad.
It also makes it easier for somebody, like for you, who has all these local contacts, like, already, to just branch that network out a little more.
It helps
for me, like I don't have a car, so I don't have the ability to jump around to different businesses in different areas in person as easily as Germ does. So for me, and plus I have like 20 years experience working on the phone, so for me it just makes sense to reach out. I know how to do it.
And then there was also the event idea. If you have a live event, there's a banner. So whatever we're saying here could be reinterpreted in the way that you're doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a sales guy on the phone. I'm an in-person kind of...
It could be something like, okay, you're selling stuff online on Etsy. You sell 20 things a month. You could call a business and be like, yo, I'll put your pens in every package I send out. And then they put their logo on pens, and you order some pens with their logo, and you put a pen in their package. It could be, there's a lot of ways that you could market ads to businesses to make it interesting for them.
And they're supporting you.
And again,
it's helping the thing grow. You're getting more resources, and they're getting to be attached to the eyeballs that you're generating.
Yeah, so there is value.
They're not losing. Trust me, they're not losing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a worth to your art, and it is the eyeballs, and know that.
Mm-hmm.
And don't shy away from it, and don't be shamed.
And again,
people want to see what you're doing.
Like, I totally understand that I come from a years and years of selling advertising background, so I might talk about it like it's nothing. But I also didn't turn into this amazing phone sales guy overnight either. I read a lot about sales techniques and how to talk to people over the phone and how to write a script for a sales thing over the phone, and so all that information that I read is available for you too. It's just on Google. Click it away. Don't be lazy. Don't be cheap. If you want to make your business work, that's one way that you might want to seriously look into, because especially online, that's what keeps a lot of online platforms rolling is ad revenue.
Yeah, I think in both the cases that we're talking about, just get out there, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Get out there on the internet, get out there in real life, and get in your scene and meet people in person. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm trying to say. You're saying meet them over the phone.
Yeah, over the phone is in person. With a voice over the phone, to me, that's way more in person than typing on an Instagram or a DM with no emotion and like when you talk to me on the phone, you're talking to the same guy that's talking to you here on this video. You hear my voice, you hear my tone of voice. I can make a joke with you, I can laugh, we can complain about Facebook together. And that's another cool thing when I'm reaching out to businesses, like at my job, my day job, like I sell ads on screens in restaurants, my day job, and like all these people are complaining about Facebook, and it's nice to know that other types of businesses besides just creative businesses have had those experiences with Facebook. So that's kind of been interesting to experience firsthand.
Definitely, there's no fucking ads on Facebook. Imagine how frustrating it must be if you're just a normal business and you can't. There's nothing interesting to post about. We got cement.
Yeah, exactly.
And they still want it because it's social media. They still want that like, those likes,
Well, that used to be the fuel that made more people see your stuff, was how many people liked it. They were like, oh, if people like this, let's show it to more people. But now it's like, oh, if people like this, it doesn't matter. If people pay for this, let's show it to more people.
No, it's hold on. What are they liking? Is it a product? Crush it. Is it a baby's face? Let it slide through for now.
Well, that's the whole thing. Is it a product? Yes. Are they paying us? Yes. Okay, we'll let them reach a little tiny bit of people.
Yeah.
If it's no, crap. So,
It's subtle. That's what I'm saying. You gotta wear your friend's shirts when you can. Some like hand signals. Buy it on the store. It's down there, the link. It's gonna come in 3 posts, the link. That's how I feel it kinda is. Kinda is like that, where we're being botted so much. People always send me messages of like things that they talked about and then it ends up being an ad. Like they're talking about it with me or with other people, and then they get added on it. The bots catch them talking about something and they get ads on Instagram about it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I
Very
remember,
specific things.
I remember on Christmas 2016, like the worst episode of Facebook censorship I ever experienced. My dad's friend wrote to my dad in a message on Facebook and said, I want to buy some of Adam's stuff for the holidays. My dad set up a group message with me and this lady, and the group message with my own dad, who's marked on Facebook as my dad, went into my junk mail because how? I don't know. It went into my filtered inbox. My guess is because she was asking him prices, and there was content about business going on.
So you didn't know about it?
I didn't know about this message from my dad. So my dad thinks I'm ignoring him and that I'm not caring about this lady when I've never seen my dad's message. So finally, a few days later, I see my dad, and he's like, hey, how come you never replied about Lauren's thing? She wants to buy 2 of your blankets. And I'm like, what? What Lauren's thing? Who's Lauren? And I was livid. I was freaking angry. This is my living. This is my livelihood. And it's my dad.
Yeah, so who else is caught
So, like, who else is caught in these algorithms? Like, who else's stuff is in this filtered inbox? And then when I went into the filtered inbox, you know, the very first time I went into that filtered inbox.
It was crazy.
It was crazy. I was like, there's all these sales I missed. There's all these people asking me for custom art. There's all these people asking me for shirts. There's all these people asking me for shit. And I didn't even get a notification that I got those messages. And some of them were like 8 months ago. And I didn't even know that filtered inbox
and
existed.
a bad taste in their mouth and everything.
They think you're ignoring them. They think you're being a dick, and you know they don't know that you haven't seen their message. So anyway, you know.
Yeah, that was a good day when I found out about that.
No, I was livid, man, when I found, like, the first time I found out about it, whatever, I was like, oh, there's this filtered inbox now that I have to check with all these potential sales popping up in it. Cool. Now I know there's potential sales in there. But when my dad's message went in there during the holiday season, that was just like getting kicked in the nuts by Facebook. You know, Facebook, I'd rather get kicked in the nuts. At least I'll get up 5 minutes later and feel good again. Now every time I use Facebook, I have that residual negative feeling about it. Like, it doesn't feel good to use Facebook anymore. I used to log into Facebook and get up in the morning and it was like a shot of adrenaline. I'd look in and I'd have 99 notifications and I'd have 12 messages and all of them were saying nice things about me and my art. It was just so motivating and so, I had so much confidence and I had so much, I don't know, man, it just feels awesome when you're waking up every day to a whole bunch of people telling you how you're motivating and inspiring them, and people would write to me about how, like, you know, they read my story and been following me and they got sober or they stopped using drugs or alcohol, and they'd write to me about that.
They are writing to you, it's just
real
going in the inbox.
Yeah, no, they're not anymore because not enough people are seeing my work and they're not able to follow the story in a chronological order the way that it makes any sense. It's all
I have the perfect plan for that. And it makes no sense at all.
The perfect plan to tell a story in a chronological order is to make a book. I think you're on the right track.
No, not just that. My Bart mask. I'm becoming king of Canada, y'all. I found a Bart mask.
Only in Canada can a king be elected. Sorry.
No, a king cannot be elected.
In Canada, one can.
Only appointed by the people.
Canadians are so nice that it's like, alright. Like, well,
I'll just pay my tax to the Queen there, eh? We pay $2 every year to the Queen of England. I'm proud of it. So I'm wearing a Bart mask to show how absurd our system is by being absolutely absurd and running for King of Canada.
That's awesome.
Because the elections are this October. And that's just another stunt, you know? And I think just like how you call people, I think just going out and handing flyers and really marking people's lives. Where they're like, I met the King of Canada, he's kind of weird.
Yeah.
He gave me a flyer.
He had a really nice shirt on, though.
And that, my friends, will sell more art.
Definitely. That's the story. That's the entertainment. And, you know, that's where germs...
And what I love about this, I take off the mask and it's just like, that was that. This is this. You know, I can have a separation. It's not me with a fucking crown on my head. I think that would be a bit too much. It has to be something absurd.
You should put a crown of thorns on and tell everyone you're bootleg Jesus.
I think that's absurd. Absurd. That's not going to go over well. It won't go over well. Bart mask, ironically, will go super well.
Bro, you showing up on the doorstep in a white robe and a crown of thorns with your book,
no, it's not.
going, here's a bunch of bootlegs. I turned Mickey into Bart.
I just need the
your
hipster
bootleg
blogs.
Jesus showing up on the door, proselytizing.
I need the hipster blogs in town. The new age. The new age news, you know? I need them to do a story on it, run a story. It'll be fire. I don't show my face. I'm just...
You don't address as Jesus and knock on people's doors.
Nuts? Do you remember Deez Nuts?
No.
It's the dream. Deez Nuts ran for campaign. He was killing it. He was in the States. I would forget what he was running for, but maybe president or nomination of one of the parties. He was destroying it. And they tracked him down. And Deez Nuts was 16. Or something like that. So they're like, disqualified him, and they fucking mudsling and disqualified him because he wasn't of age.
Yeah.
But they were terrified of Deez Nuts.
Because
he wrote it as Deez. You know what that means, bro? Who are you voting for? Deez Nuts. Okay? He had them. He fucking had the whole system like at his knees. He was 16.
Nice.
So I think it could be something similar, but here in Canada, there's no way I'm filling out the forms to run for some fucking stupid shit, and then I'm supposed to be in an office in Ottawa. If I win, can't have that.
No, and
so the only thing that
what I know, it costs a fortune and is very difficult to run a political campaign, even if you're just running.
No, I think it's the marketing. I think it's just the marketing costs a lot of money.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Yeah,
it's probably like $100 to get your name on the ballot or something stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it depends.
It's a marketing game because that's what it's really about. It's notoriety. When people go into the booth, who knew who more?
Mm-hmm.
And fuck it. People in Canada don't even know that the Queen's on. They know the Queen's on the 20. They don't really know that the Queen is the Queen of Canada, and that we pay a tax to her every year. And street art is political, and this is an art piece, and it's political, and it's showing that we have a queen. That's basically the basis of it, is that we have a queen. Isn't this absurd? I'm going to run as the king versus queen. Who do you choose?
Mm-hmm.
And it makes humans love to choose a side. Mm-hmm. They love that. And in choosing a side, I get to mudsling and all kinds of things.
That's why I'm waiting to make talk about business cards.
I get to talk about how the queen may be a vampire, and it's totally fine because I'm wearing a Bart mask and I'm going to take it off in a minute. I'm so stoked on life, bro. She has an advanced hemophilia disease where she needs intravenous new blood, preferably from children, and she could also drink it. It would work just fine. And the intravenous hurts a lot, so I wonder if she drinks it.
I wonder how you know the intravenous hurts a lot.
That's because I watched a vampire documentary where if they drink too much blood, they get the disease slightly, and they need to get intravenous they need to get new blood, and they don't like doing it, so they go and buy lamb's blood at the shop. They go to the butcher and they ask for blood pudding.
I think the term just slipped.
I'm not. That's 100% true.
Germ's a fucking vampire.
It's 100%
the truth
true.
Comes out.
100% true that they go and drink blood at a butcher because they don't want to get trans.
The intravenous hurts a lot. You didn't say I heard the intravenous hurts a lot. You didn't say
I never got
the documentary said you said the intravenous hurts a lot. That's stated like a man who has experience with the intravenous child blood.
I'm just saying intravenous child blood. Okay, guy with the mask on, it's getting a little too deep. But is she really a reptilian? It's gonna be things like that. It's gonna be mudslinging, but it's gonna be fun. Like, don't you want to have a little bit of a reptilian thing? Is she shit-shitting? With the eyes. I'll make it funny. And that's Canada's gift. Is that we could talk about hard things because in a funny way. You know.
For now.
What do you mean?
For now, we can.
I think it's important to push the boundaries then,
so that
it doesn't get to anything red coat-ish like the Brits, how they want it all uptight.
Well, no, I'm just talking about more like how everyone gets deplatformed for talking about this kind of thing.
If you can't deplatform a guy in a Bart mask in a town who's absolutely hell-bent on fucking doing it, you can't. Unless I'm behind the scenes like, hey, you, MTL Blog, you should really go check out that story on the guy who has a Bart mask. Here's his link. With a fucking other email. Forget it, bro. I'm destroying it. Well, all I need is that new age news. The hipsters.
That's actually something that I'm going to be probably participating in. Speaking of new age stuff, there's a big bazaar that happens called the Buddha Bazaar in September that the organizers reached out to me and I'm trying to take part in. So I'm looking forward to that. Like, that's going to be pretty much, I think, my next big event coming up. I don't think I have anything else until like end of September. As far as vending, for me, summer's slow. I don't have a car, so I can't drive around to all these festivals. Anything that's further than 20, 30 minutes away, hard for me to get a lift to from somebody else to come drop me off in the morning and pick me up at night. So, long term, I'm gonna eventually need to buy a vehicle. But for now, I'm pretty stoked with mostly everything I need being in walking distance. But that's also why I focus a lot of my business online, and why some of the things that Germ suggests to me aren't viable for me. I can't go around to all these businesses easily. I can't throw things in the trunk to bring with me to show to people. I can put a backpack on my back, or at most drag a suitcase around. But who's going to literally drag a suitcase around? Probably not me. So it does make a difference. And if you've got a car, like take advantage of the things Germ's doing. You know, bring your bring your merch around, show it to stores. Like Germ has his.
You're not making more money than me necessarily. It's how we spent the money. We're in your studio right now. I don't have this room in my house.
Mm-hmm.
This room is my car.
Mm-hmm.
What you save, you know, like what I didn't spend on this room, I spent on a car. We're gonna lose our money.
Yeah, you're right.
It's where you spend the money.
And that's my point, is that everybody's different. So whatever resources you have that maybe the other guy doesn't, like, that's why we try and point out a lot of different ways to do things and like differences between Germ and I's way of doing business. Because like at the end of the day, the truth is when you're an artist, there is no way to do business. There's a bunch of ways to do business, and you can learn something from all of them. And we hope that you're learning a whole bunch from us about different ways. And you know, I think
there's I've met so many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, and it's really about honing in on what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not necessarily what you think is easy.
Mm-hmm.
Really think about what you want to do, and then focus on that.
And what it means to you.
Because sometimes it's easy for me to make T-shirts and but what I really want to do is paint on canvas, and that sometimes is a little bit harder. It's a little bit harder to sell. Because 500 people can look at it and you might only make a sale.
Mm-hmm.
Might only make a sale.
Mm-hmm.
T-shirt, you show 500 people, you're probably going to make a sale.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's a different world. And therefore, when you come from a place of where you're lacking security, you might want to make those T-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
And you start acting more on those lines, and then you forget that what you really wanted to do was make canvases.
Mm-hmm.
That's more archival, and that's more... I'm talking about for myself right here. I feel that that's better for my career long term to paint the canvas.
Well, that's why
than to make 65,000 nice shirts.
That's why I've got this giant thing behind me, which I'd be honest, man, I've been procrastinating on it a lot.
So the hardest step is the final step.
So I gotta take it across the finish line sometime soon. I've been saying that in like the last 3 episodes that it's been sitting behind us, and it's still not done. But that's okay because I have made a bunch of other art, so it'll get done when it gets done. But, you know, that's one thing I want to do. I want to focus on bigger art. I want to make bigger paintings. And I want to make more of them. And, you know, there's been this mental block finishing this one with the whole situation where I got my job where I was halfway through working on it. And, like, I don't know, man, it just fucked up my vibe. So the vibe's getting good again. And I'm getting close to finishing it up. The last few mandalas I made have been, you know, have come out quickly and fun. And, like, I'm having fun painting again. Not that I really lost it, but like...
I lost it this week. I lost my normal habits, and it came back to me maybe yesterday. The whole electricity being cut at my house and all kinds of stuff. My landlord said that nobody lived at the address, and then there was no electricity for a day, and I didn't know what was going on, so I was staying in the dark, and I came down to his house and found out that I had to pay 2 cents to hydro, and it would all start again. And in that whole thing, and there's other things too that are private, but why I wasn't there the other 2 days, and it just throws me out of whack. I literally sat
He
in
was
my house.
getting his child blood transfusions.
I was sitting there and I was like, in my house, and I was like, what do I do again? And at one point today, before coming here, I looked at my Instagram and like the other things that I posted, and I was like, how long ago was this? Okay, I'm doing bootleg comics. Okay, I'm doing it regularly. Good, past Germ. You're doing good. Wait, why is there not a lot of paintings? What was the last painting? Oh, that's a long time ago. 2 days ago. Oh, okay, that's not that long ago. And there's just like, it really fucked me up.
Mm-hmm.
I've lost total sense of who I was, and I guess that's when I realized it's really linked to my habits and what I do. And if I change my habits too much, I'll really shake the boat and have to be reminded that, like, because dude, I'm all over the place, and I have to be reminded to make the black and white bootleg comics. Oh, yeah. Turn those into paintings. Oh yeah. Because that's what my career is. And if I forget and I start making 3D toys too much or embroideries too much, I forget that that's the secret sauce. Is the thing that's fast, that shoots out the ideas that people love and they laugh, and then those things make the painting. So my point is, my real point was that figure out what you really want to do, what you love, and always remind yourself, and figure out a way to always remind yourself to keep those things running.
Yeah, and
it might not be 2, might be 1. I suggest 3.
For me, I realized that I had really kind of slowed down my production a lot over the last few months. I needed a vacation. I needed some time to relax to myself and to not feel guilty about watching Pawn Stars or Antiques Roadshow when there's a painting behind me that's unfinished. And
but you did paint a lot.
I paint a lot compared to a lot of people, but compared to the past me, over the last few months, I really haven't been painting a lot. And, over the last few weeks, I have been again, and it feels great. And that's something that I think people need too, if you're an artist, is like, they need fresh stuff from you relatively often, like every week or two at the farthest, the more often the better.
But when I scrolled through, I noticed that the last 2 ones that I painted sold.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, what am I doing? What am I doing today other than why am I not doing that thing?
I noticed I've gone a few days, like 4 or 5 days in a row where I didn't post anything on my social medias, and then I kind of posted something new, and it got the best reaction of anything that I've posted in a long time. I was really excited about it, so I want to make more fresh art, I want to make more big art, I want to blow people's minds, I want to sell some ads. To make all the rest of what I just said sustainable from a financial standpoint, and also from a growing my brand standpoint. It's not just about selling ads, it's about for every ad I sell, at least 50 to 200 people are going to say no thanks, not interested. Out of those people, some of them might bookmark my website and go buy something at the holidays. A couple of them might go and become personal patrons for $5 a month because they really like my art. Some of them might ask me like, "Oh, hey, do you do wholesale? Like, my sister owns a rock and gift shop, and like we think your magnets would sell well there." And like all those things are possibilities. So I might hit somebody up and they'll be like, "Oh, you know what? My brother owns this big gallery in Toronto, and like I already bought one of your paintings online, and like I'm calling him now and telling him to check you out." Like that could totally happen. And by keeping that positive attitude about those open possibilities, I'm going to attract something amazing, and I know it. And like it's just going to be. There's no way that it won't be, as long as I don't give up, as long as I don't get discouraged after 3 days of trying.
We spoke about this before in the other episodes, how important faith is in being an artist, because it kind of doesn't make sense. I have faith that if I put on the Bart mask, it'll make sense, and it'll be great. It'll be fantastic for business. That's what my gut is telling me, and I have to have faith. And you're saying that if you get on the phone and you call those people, you gotta trust your gut. It's gonna work out. You gotta have faith. And that's a lot of what this business really takes, is that when you get that inspiration or that hunch, go for it. Yeah, go for it. Don't go wild and spend $3,000 on magnets, though.
Well, at the time, it was an amazing thing to do. And you know what? I still think those magnets are going to come rescue me at some point. Like I'm going to be at an event.
There's going to be a solar flare, and he's going to
I'm going to see an ad called, like, the Magnet-a-thon trade show, and I'm going to go set up a booth with just my 3,000 magnets, and they're going to sell out, and everybody around me is going to be like, "Man, I should have brought more magnets with me, because we sold out, and this guy had 3,000.
It was called Magnetron.
Magnet Man. So I know those magnets are going to turn into something someday. At the very least, I'm going to throw them in people's packages and give people magnets. Like, I already have done that a lot of times, because I can't ship them in an envelope with a stamp, but when somebody buys, like, a package that I can ship, then I can throw magnets in them, because they don't go through the little envelope sorting machinery that the magnets fuck up. So, I definitely give some freebies that way. But, to sell 2 or 3 magnets, it's not worth me to, ship them for $10 that it costs to ship them in a package. Who's going to pay me $30 for some little magnets? Nobody. But who's going to pay $5 for 3 magnets at an event? Hundreds. I've already, I had 3,000, now I have 2,000. So if you can do math, I've sold like around 1,000 magnets. So
have you sold more pens?
I definitely made profit on the magnets already. So the fact is, I didn't really make a mistake. I've made profit, and I still have 2,000 magnets.
Yeah, it's only a mistake in the heart.
Yeah, it felt like a mistake when I showed up at the post office.
The gut was
like, "You can't ship these," and I'm like, "Ah."
Yeah, you know, it ruins the dream.
Yeah.
And now it's a new dream of the slow, steady wait.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Oh well. Big deal.
You're the artist. You can always make more.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a learning experience.
Mm-hmm. Definitely was. And
Stay tuned. I'll bring the mask next time, and I'll make a little appearance as a King in Canada.
Yeah, I think we should maybe even check if Krista Cloutier would like to be a guest on our podcast at some point. I'd honestly love to have a conversation with her because she said in her email that there's some things she doesn't agree that we talk about.
Oh, you're gonna call her out?
Well, I'm not going to call her out. I'm curious to know what she doesn't agree with. And
what don't you agree with?
Yeah. What her take on it is, and I think that it would do nothing but increase the value for our viewers.
Of course, have that another artist prove that there could be a third way that works.
Yeah,
we had that already with Chris.
So
where it was like 3 different people, 3 different points of view. They're all right in the artist world. They're all working. And it's interesting, and it's fun.
I worked in call centers for many years, and every single one of them, I was literally the top sales rep that I ever worked in. There was never a call center where I worked in that I stayed more than like a month or 2 that I didn't end up the top sales rep. And the reason I end up the top sales rep when I become a sales rep on a call center sales floor is because I ask the managers if I can go listen to the 3 best sales reps. And even if I don't ask the managers if I can go listen to them, I'll make sure that I sit near them so I can hear them whether I ask the manager to or not. And I listen to them between my calls. When the phone is ringing or answering machines are going, I'm listening to that guy next to me who's making twice as many sales as I am. And I'm listening to what he says. But I'm not only listening to him, I'm listening to the other guy that makes a few more sales than me and listening to his lines. And then I take the best lines from him and him and him and him and him and I throw them all together and I'll use them at the right time with the right person. And that's why I end up making more sales than everyone else, because I talk to each person as an individual, whereas most other sales reps will just read a script like a robot. And if the person on the other end isn't following the script, they can't handle it. But I talk to each person like an individual. And that's one of my strengths as a salesperson is when I worked in call centers that called the States, I literally went as far as changing my accent. Someone called me from New York, I'm like, yeah, I'm calling about your ad in the yellow pages. We're just making sure it's all staying the same this year. You ain't changed nothing from last year. You still at the same address. All right, we keep it all the same. You got a website now you want to put in there? No, all right, leave it the way it is. But if I'm calling Texas, I'm telling you, hey, I'm calling from the Yellow Pages. We just making sure y'all ain't changing nothing since last year. And, you still have 123 ABC Street. All right, perfect. We got you down there, and you got a website now you want to put in there? No. All right, cool. We keep it all the same for you. So, that's called mirroring, by the way. There's actually a term for it. Somebody talks slow, I'll talk slow. Somebody's talking a mile a minute, I'm talking a mile a minute. And those are just phone techniques that I know from working on the phone. They're not going to apply to every type of sales that you're going to do, but they do apply to phone sales. So, if you're ever going to pick up the phone, even if you're going to pick up the phone to call galleries, if you're picking up the phone to call stores to get your merch in them, if you're picking up the phone to call St. Mary's Church to tell them you want a table in the basement, you're going to get a better response from people if you talk to them the way they talk to you. And I'm not saying you have to put on fake accents, but if they talk slow, talk slow. If they talk fast, talk a little faster. It helps.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes you, it gives you
it's a sense of
a familiarity, exactly.
Rapport,
a familiarity. You're not a strange thing. There's that connection of familiarity that's important. Let's face it, that's why we do these things. That's why when you're an artist, you're putting your stuff out there. That's why you talk about it. That's why you write about it. Like, people familiar with your art, people familiar with the aesthetic of it, people familiar with the story behind it. Like, the more familiar people are, the better they react to you. And that's the name of the game. So yeah, I don't know what else, if we want to talk about selling ads, I mean, I trained people to sell ads for years and years and years, and I can go on for pretty much ever about that, but, how long have we been on here?
We're going to be tuning out right now.
Yeah.
And next episode, you will learn more about, and hopefully it won't be 2 weeks.
Yeah,
hopefully you'll keep this phone charged this time.
Yeah.
I'll do another one soon, and hopefully I'll have the book.
Awesome.
I don't know. I think it comes the 9th of August. No, I don't know.
Yeah, I've got some cool things that I'm like waiting for August to show off too. I have some cool things coming down the line. For just for the hell of it, I'll say next episode this painting's gonna be finished. It might not be, but I'm saying it again just for fun.
You said that last time?
I said that like the last 3 episodes or something like that. But anyway,
social pressure has no effect on this man.
No, doesn't. But yeah. So I don't know. Stay tuned. Enjoy. Thanks for watching. We
all the time.
Already on. Excellent. Already on, folks. Peace.
Oh, that's not even a stop button. Is it? Is it X? Yeah, it is X.